I'm James Welch. I am the captain of the basketball and baseball teams, and I'm the class of 2018. In high school, I would say as I've gotten older, I've become more assertive, and as a freshman and as a sophomore, it makes sense to be in kind of like a typical role, somebody who's not really going to lead all that much. But I'd say as I got older and as I got more experience being a captain in a couple of sports, I became more assertive, and I think that allowed our teams to be more confident, allowed myself to be more confident, and really helped everyone. I'd say, like one advice that I give to younger kids is to be, as confident as you can be at a young age, because I think down the road that really helps in the long run. Okay. A couple of kids that I've really looked up to while my time here are Franklin Holgate, class of 2017, Dom Nardone, class of 2016, and class of 2018, Dan Monahan. I'd say all three of those guys I've been able to play on teams with, and I've really looked up to them. Some of them are louder than others, but in the end, they're all really, really good leaders, and their hard work ethic, their determination, and the fact that they really care about others before themselves are why I really look up to them. As a coach, or looking up to a coach, Coach Clough has been one of the people here that's had the biggest impact on my life. He came when I was a sophomore here, after kind of like a shaky freshman season. Coach Clough came in and immediately had an impact on my life, and I know the program. And we've really seen that family bond and the connections that he brings to the team throughout the years have really paid off, and he's had such a huge impact on my life, and I'm really thankful for that. One of my biggest challenges being a leader of multiple sports is figuring out what works. I'd say in the winter, obviously coming off of basketball season, baseball is a completely different sport, but it also includes different people, and they have different stories, and they have different styles of play, and I'd say finding what works for each team is really important. I'm not going to use the same leadership style necessarily for basketball as I do for baseball, and I think that goes for a lot of sports and a lot of leaders and a lot of captains here at school. Finding what works can be tricky at times, and it might not be the same across all teams, but that's also the joy of it. You get to work with different people, with different teammates and classmates here at school, and you definitely create bonds that will never be broken. So, for basketball, actually two traditions come to mind. I'd say this is now referenced as a tradition. The first practice of the year is a double practice, so it comes on a Saturday. We practice in the morning, get a little break in the afternoon, usually catch like a soccer game or an event that's happening at school, and then come back later in the afternoon to practice. I'd say that day is huge for the season. It sets the tone for how the season's going to be. We really bond real close together after 2 hard practices, and that's really a great first day of practice in the season. I'd say another tradition throughout the season for basketball is going to Uche's restaurant in Framingham. His family restaurant is really, really good. We usually go once a year. Wish we could go more than that. And it's a great time to spend time with the guys and get some food off the court. For baseball, while the season in the spring is really short, we still find time to hang out as much off the field, which is really, really important. I'd say as many people's time here at Nobles concludes in the spring for the seniors, it's important to make sure you reach out to those and make those last connections. So having team dinners and hanging out off the field are really important and good team traditions, I think, for any spring team. And I know in the spring we get less Friday games than in the fall, in the winter, where you'd have pretty much a game every Friday. So you'd be able to have that time to hopefully get a meal with the guys and hang out at somebody's house. Some advice I would give to my younger self and to others out there are leaders can come in all forms. I think you don't have to be a senior or an upperclassman to be a leader. I think you can lead as a freshman. I think you can lead as a sophomore. And to my younger self, I wish I would have taken a little bit more of strides to become that type of leader, even as a freshman. It may not mean you're talking up or you're talking a whole lot, but it might mean that you're setting, really good examples. It means you're working your butt off, and it means you're really setting kind of the steps to become a really good leader. I think I've kind of figured that out my junior year, and I wish that I kind of figured that out earlier, and I'd advise others to figure out as soon as possible.